Warming temps and heavy rains can spell trouble for your home. Don't wait for a problem. Get a free foundation inspection from Permaseal. Stay dry, stay protected. For peace of mind, call 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Steve Lawrence, welcome to WGN.
Thank you, Dean. I'm very happy to be on WGN as the big boomer, boy. We hear that all over the country. That signal is extraordinary.
You know, it just makes me smile hearing your voice. It makes me feel good because I think of all the music. I think of all of your television appearances. I think of motion picture appearances. It's a warm, wonderful, welcoming sound just to hear your voice.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear yours as well, and I'm happy to be talking to a lot of folks out at WG Land, WGN Land, and it goes a long way, so you don't know where there's a boundary there. But I'm happy to speak with you, and it's Chicago has always been a favorite city of Eydie's and mine. And I was telling you just before we went on the air that we stay at the Drake Hotel, and the first stop we do is we pop right into the Cape Cod room. It's absolutely sensational. And the lovely thing about it is that when you go back to that town, as opposed to Las Vegas or New York or a lot of other towns, that city hasn't changed for me as a visitor. It's been just like it was when we left.
When was the last time that you were here?
We were there a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, and we're coming back to the Paramount Theater in Aurora next Friday and Saturday on the 26th and 27th of October.
I don't know if you know this, in the last couple of years, it's 80 degrees and sunny here every day now.
Really? You got warmer weather than we have in Las Vegas?
Mayor Daley, I don't know how Mayor Daley did this. He's done something to the clouds here, and it's perfect, sunny, and 80 degrees here every day.
Well, if anybody can do it, anybody with the name Daley can make it happen.
That's very true. Do you have some favorite Chicago stories of appearing here? I mean, you must have appeared at some of the great and legendary clubs here.
Yeah, we were at the Chez Paris. I was at the Living Room, and it became, I guess, the Trade Winds prior to that. And we were at the Palmer House in Chicago proper, in town. And Eydie worked many years ago at the State Street Theater.
Wow, at the Chicago Theater on State Street, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. And of course, we when they rehabbed the Chicago Theater,
yeah,
we were some of the people involved in that, and we performed there as well. And it was a great treat. Chicago audiences have always been very kind to me and Eydie over the years.
Now, in your act that you'll be doing at the Paramount on the 26th and 27th,
yeah.
Do you go down memory lane? Do you do the hits? Or you?
Yeah, we do, because we find that the audience that comes to see us, there's a couple of surprises, but we don't kind of pass up on stuff that they come to hear. Like I once had a conversation many years ago with Nat King Cole. I said, "Don't you ever get tired of Mona Lisa and Too Young?" He says, "Hey, that's what they're coming to hear." I said, "Okay, I got you."
That's paying the bills. And what would those songs be for you and Eydie?
Well, we can never dodge Go Away Little Girl, or Blame It on a Bossa Nova, or If You Walked Into My Life, Portrait of My Love, More. I mean, there's a lot of, and of course some of the specials that we've done over the years on television. I might add some Emmy Award-winning specials.
Absolutely.
So we do some snippets from that as well. And so we managed to sneak in a couple of things that might be new to the audience as well.
Hip-hop? You guys doing hip-hop music now?
Excuse me, you want to ask me that again? We don't dance.
If you gave me any other response, I would be shocked. Talking about through the years with Eydie, do you mind if I ask how many years now you've been man and wife?
Well, this December, we will be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary.
God bless you! Isn't that terrific? Wow.
Yeah. That's been a lot of wonderful music, a lot of wonderful times, and we've touched on a scale of 1 to 10. We've touched all the numbers, and it's been a very terrific long run for us, and one that we're very proud of and very grateful for.
What's the secret? We read about stars today. They're married for about 2 minutes and filing for divorce, or these young stars du jour that come and go. You guys professionally and personally have seemingly really defied the odds.
Well, I don't know as that's an answerable question. I think a relationship works or it doesn't, and I'm just thrilled that ours works. But if I can quote a line that Eydie used, it absolutely was, it's humorous, and it killed me. Somebody said, "What do you attribute your longevity in your marriage to?" And Eydie said, "Well, in all the years that we've been married, Steve and I have never, ever had an in-depth conversation.
Well, there you go. There's the key, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. No, I really, Dean, I really don't know how to answer that, because, as I said, I think, Eydie and I have very similar backgrounds before we were even married. We grew up almost on parallel lines. Our upbringing was similar.
Mm-hmm.
Our tastes, professionally and personally, are very, and of course, there's a great love that we share, and a great friendship. I think a sense of humor is very important. It gets you through a lot of lows, and it's as I said, I wouldn't know how to legislate that in a sentence as to why it works, but I'm just thrilled that ours does, because we're the best of friends in addition to everything else.
No, that's fantastic. Congratulations on the 50 years right around the corner. I was thinking about some of the most memorable things that I've seen you in, and your appearances on the Carol Burnett Show.
Oh, yeah.
Have to be way up there. What are some of your best memories from? How many appearances on the Burnett Show? Did you ever stop and count?
I haven't counted them, but Carol told me one time that I was probably the most used guest appearance on all of her shows, and she was on for 11 years. And I don't know, I must have done 2-3 a year, or at least, or more, and individually, and then Eydie did her own and shots. And it's hard to say, but I think my experiences with Carol, because I knew Carol, much when we were all starting out, so we were friends much before she became Carol Burnett and I became Steve Lawrence. And so we had a personal relationship and a good friendship, and Carol and her husband Joe at the time, Hamilton, and Eydie and I kind of grew up together, and our children kind of grew up as well, and alongside each other, and so it was a long relationship. But I must say, the comedy sketches that I did we did a takeoff of every gangster movie they made in the 30s and 40s and 50s.
Nobody wore a trench coat better than you did on that show. Trench coat and the hat. I can see it right now.
That's it. And Carol, for one of my birthdays a couple of years ago, she presented me with, it was 3 VHS tapes filled with every sketch I ever did.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of shows.
That's fantastic. And, of course, one of our favorite motion picture appearances in which you performed as a Chicago connection, of course, in the classic Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that has become a cult following all over the world. As a matter of fact, when Eydie and I went to Japan to do some concerts, we got off at the airport and were walking through the airport, and a lot of the Japanese people were pointing to me and go, "Oh, Maurice Lime, Blue Brother, Blue Brother." They didn't know that I sang from a hole in the wall. They only knew me from the...
You were the naked guy on the steam room.
That's it. I was the well, not naked.
Not completely,
I was in the steam room with a towel and gold chains.
Right.
And the guys were sitting there with their black hats and dark glasses and towels.
Exactly. Do you have particular memories of making that film? I can't believe how it's over 25 years, maybe 30 years now since that.
Yeah, that's about right. It was a great experience. I mean, with Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and that whole company of plays. It was just as much fun when we were not filming as when we were. And I'm sorry to a degree they didn't have a lot of outtakes that were made available, because some of them were hysterical. Those two guys were really committable. I mean, they really, if you could get any two strangers in the street to sign a piece of paper, they'd be in a home.
Yeah, exactly right. Just thinking about your many appearances and your many associations through the years, I was thinking about you and Frank Sinatra, and I have in my hand your album on which you sing Sinatra songs, which is stunningly beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I really, really enjoyed it. I was listening to it in the car and just really enjoying it.
I'm very proud of that album on a lot of levels. First of all, I waited what I thought was the proper amount of time after Frank passed away to pay tribute to him. But many years ago, Frank was, he's probably one of the most gracious, kindest guys. I mean, you've heard all the other stories about him, but I never saw that side of him. And he, while, as I said, many years ago, we became very good friends over the 40-some-odd years or so that we knew each other. He presented me with a bunch of his orchestrations from his personal library. And he just I don't know. It was probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever had, and I was just thrilled to pay that tribute to him on record. You know,
it's a beautiful release. Steve Lawrence sings Sinatra. Do you have a favorite?
Well, they're all my favorite, but I love the first cut on that CD. It's Under My Skin, which is written by Cole Porter and orchestrated by Nelson Riddle. It's one of my favorite songs, and one of my favorite orchestrations that was in Frank's library, and he knew that. So that he was very, very sure to include that, you know.
Steve Lawrence and Eydie Gorme at the Paramount Arts Center in Aurora on the 26th and 27th, and tickets are available through the box office, through all the usual places. Steve, it's a pleasure to say hi, and I hope next time you're in Chicago, we can drag you out of the Drake Hotel down here to our WGN studios, and we'll do this face-to-face.
Well, if you can't, you'll join me at the Cape Cod room.
Nothing wrong with that.